Video. Today we're going to react to Asriel Dreemurr versus... I do not know how to say that. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm not even going to attempt it. But Asriel Dreemurr is kind of, depending on the form, is kind of a god in Undertale, in the classic Undertale universe. So Asriel Dreemurr is... Asriel, not in the god form, is just, was a normal monster child. Died. Then Alphys injected determination to a flower. No, hold on. Yeah, I'm correct. So, yeah, so... am I going to explain everything? Spoilers, I guess. So, back before Frisk and most of the souls, Kara entered the underground. Then, Kara met Asriel as Asriel was playing around the whatever. And then Asriel took Kara to Asriel's parents, Asgore and Toriel. Then Kara got adopted into the Dreemurr family. But I don't know what specifically happened. But Kara wanted to do what killed herself, I think. Then, so Kara ended themselves, and then Asriel absorbed their soul, went to the underground, then they died, but Asriel managed to get back before dying, and then Asriel's dust got on the golden flowers. Then Alphys injected the golden flowers, the golden flower of determination in the lab, which then became Flowey. So Asriel Dreemurr is when Flowey absorbs the 7 human souls. Specifically, in the case of Undertale, 6 human souls and every soul in monster kind, because that equals 1 human soul. So, now that I explained that, we can get into this. My retention here is going to be very bad. I know nothing about this, so I've heard of what's going on. Let me just... this one too. This one seems to be stronger, that's what I'll say. Move or I'll shoot. I mean, shoot and don't move right away. Shoot and don't move right away. I'm already tired of staring at today's moon. It's about time to make it to tomorrow. Yeah, you missed. She went into a portal, which will probably be why... Marisa, is it Marisa? Yeah, I think it's Marisa. Marisa, finally, I'm so tired of being a Flowey. See? Flowey. Howdy, Kara, are you there? It's your best friend. Asriel Dreemurr. Oh yeah, Asriel Dreemurr, not Asriel. I mean, you can use interchangeably. Technically, Asriel before this and Flowey was Asriel Dreemurr. Right, it's a little loud. Can we just do that? It's easier this. Asriel starting the attack. Keep in mind though, in the game stats, Asriel doesn't actually have infinite attack damage. It says that, but he doesn't. He actually doesn't have that much. He actually has less than Gaster, funnily enough. I believe most people that know Undertale know this, but the actual stats of Mystery Man, which is most definitely Gaster, who else is Mystery Man if not Gaster? beware, because I was thinking about this, beware of the man that speaks in hands. It specifically says man, right? And mystery man. It just fits so well to be Gaster. But his stats, aren't they like 6, 6, 6, 6, and lots of sixes? Don't know how many specifically. And then 6 defense. And if you actually give a monster those stats, you can't kill them. It just says miss, I'm pretty sure. At least that's what, from that video I seen where a person did give a monster those stats. But Asriel doesn't actually have infinite attack damage or defense. I don't know how much he has specifically, but he doesn't have near to infinite. It's just, I don't know. I don't know which one's canon. I don't know if his canon is infinite or his actual stats are in the code. I don't know. Guess it depends how you think of it. That one killed them. Yeah, they have a shield. Well, that's surprising. Because even in that form, right, when he's not using lots of his power, that he still has the power of 7 human souls. That implies that Marisa here probably does have enough power to equal at least 1% of the human souls. Maybe less, but that's still an accomplishment. To be fair though, Omega Flowey actually shows more power than Asriel Dreemurr does, at least until the end, where he freezes Frisk's body entirely and they can't move or save anymore. But Omega Flowey actually does more than that. He crashes your game, which is why I think, I don't know if this is canon or not, there's 6 human souls, so you have 7, you have the same power as 6, but you can control them. The 7th human soul just makes you able to actually have control them, the other 6, if that makes sense. But do you know what I would love to see a fan game of? Do you know how in Undertale Yellow, the neutral run, where like you're stuck in Flowey's mind? I would love to see like a fan game where you are the souls that have been absorbed by Omega Flowey, and you have to break out of Omega Flowey. And it could be endings, and like, you could have like it where only a few of the souls break out. That'll give you a different ending, depending on how many souls can break free. And it could also be an ending where you don't break free, and whatever Flowey's twisted plan was after that. Because didn't he say something about the true meaning of this world? I would love to see what he meant by that. But and so I don't know if that's already a fan game of that. I would love to see that if it was. Because that is so cool to me. Because Omega Flowey, right, at least Undertale Yellow, it shows that whatever's happening to the soul, it's not good. But anyways, let's continue. We're not even 3 minutes in yet. What we need to see is, like, okay, so the swords can deflect it. Quick attacks probably won't work. Can't you just delete? Oh, hold on, though. What I never understand is, again, as I probably have already said, Omega Flowey has shown to do a lot more than Asriel does. I know it's probably because Asriel doesn't want to remove you. He wants to keep you, if that makes sense. Because I believe somewhere he says he just wants to keep repeating the timeline, if that makes sense. He just wants to endlessly repeat the timeline over and over again, if that makes sense. Until Frisk rescues him, saves him or whatever. But the problem is I don't think Marisa will be able to do that. So, because again, the only reason Asriel lost to Frisk was because, you know, Frisk saved him emotionally or whatever. But Marisa isn't going to do that. She's just going to attack. But as soon as it becomes a hypergona, hyper death phase, it's not gonna work because you can't move. You know how the spell card battle works, right? No? You don't know? But yeah, because it's a different battle world rules. Because since they're two different universes, their powers work differently. But the thing is, he's not even trying. Asriel's not even trying at the moment. He's just not trying. I mean, I think the only reason Frisk was able to refuse death wasn't because of their determination. I think it was because Asriel kept them alive. Or I think, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because with Omega Flowey, when you died, you actually just, the game crashes, showing he has a lot more power. When you die against Asriel Dreemurr, you don't, you come back, which makes you think it's Asriel Dreemurr bringing you back. I mean, it also could be that Frisk has more determination to save monster kind because they're already so close to doing it. That could be why. I'm not against that theory, just it doesn't really make sense. Because if feeling is all it takes to have determination, if that makes sense, there has to be a limit to it. Because otherwise you could just be anyone if you feel like doing it. If you have the strong enough determination, you can do anything, right? So it's kind of one of those things where it becomes overpowered, if that makes sense. Because let's say you're fighting a difficult opponent, you could just have something to feel determined to beat the stage and done, you have determination now. I know it's probably more complicated than that. I'm pretty sure you need the determination soul. Though, technically all souls have determination, it's just the dominant soul trait is the one that overpowers the rest and gives it its colour. But the problem is if all soul traits have determination, I mean, that's probably how... No, that makes sense, since that's how Alphys got the determination. But that means all soul traits, if they feel determined enough, can get determination. I mean, yeah, it probably is that simple, but that also isn't a good thing. Because that means if you feel determined enough, you can just reset the timeline. I know it's probably more complex than that. Because at least what I think determination is if you have the determination soul trait, you naturally produce determination. Same with other soul traits, they just produce a low amount because it's not the dominant trait that overpowers the rest. But if you have a determined soul, which is the red one, I know it's probably not canon, but it just makes the most sense. The soul will naturally produce determination, but you can harvest it into a substance, if that makes sense. Determination itself is a substance, but a determination soul naturally makes it, whilst a monster can harvest it from the soul, but the soul naturally makes it. I'm fairly sure I've just repeated myself 2 times there. Earth Library. They have nearly enough the same power. Like stars and that starts a different version of lightning to Asriel's, but it's still light. The problem is they're not doing damage. And then problem is they're not Marisa isn't doing damage to Asriel, because even if his stats aren't infinity, he still has a high amount of defense, which is probably a lot more than the damage Marisa's attacks do. So, because since defense, like, stops a percentage of damage, and if... So I think defense works, right? Let's say your attack does 100 damage, but someone with the, with defense 99, you only do 1 damage, if that makes sense. So, let's say Marisa's attack does 1,000 damage, but Asriel has 8,000 defense. Marisa isn't going to do any damage. I don't know if that's how the defense in Undertale works, but that's how I'm guessing it works. Which also means Marisa isn't probably doing that much damage, if any at all. Also, I hate to keep pausing, but Asriel probably can just heal. Because since he is technically stronger than Omega Flowey, which can save and load, Asriel could just save a save point at the start, and then just load that save point, if Frisk is not the most determined, I guess. Miss, see? Start doing damage. Yep. Also, Asriel isn't trying. This is the problem. Asriel is barely trying, if any. The Frisk is there. And... yeah. Doing? Why are you dropping more people in a portal? Also, the fact you can't see through that portal makes it a very bad portal. Shoot the main. Oh yeah, the miss. Yeah, it's doing no damage. This is what actually happens, right? When you give a monster Gaster stats, it just shows miss, which implies that you're not doing enough damage to go past the defense. Yeah, I'm correct then. Miss, miss. So, it's gonna take a lot more power to even damage him a little bit. Damage Asriel a little bit. Also, does the code say how much Asriel Dreemurr's health has? How much HP Asriel has? And does it change in between, like, his phase 2, where he's, like, the hyper death? Because I don't think Marisa will be able to even deal a little bit of damage. Or it will take a lot more power to, which won't be that much. Also, sorry for the constant pausing, it's just... a reaction video is about reacting to the video, and again, I want to react to the video. Again, you know, that's how reacting works. If you want to see the original video first, that's all welcome to. I usually have the link in the description anyway, so if you want to see the video first, watch the video, then look at my reaction to it. Because then, you won't mind the constant pausing, because you already know. Yep. Try and burn the... yeah. Yep. Oh, it didn't do anything. Oh. Starlight Titan. Yep, he's noticed. And it was definitely... yeah, miss. It's doing nothing. Okay, well, that's not the point. Can you damage him? Because Asriel is kind of... yeah, it's working. Uh-oh. It's doing not. Yeah, he's not taking this seriously. Because, again, he could just save and load, probably. And attack the weak spot. The shield's down. So he won't play by the rules. Well, technically he makes the rules. Given he's kind of a god in this universe. In the Undertale universe at the moment. He kind of makes them. You can't really break rules that you make. So how do you break the rules? He hit the weak spot. Am I missing something? Is it just in her universe you don't attack the weak spot or what? Because Asriel just hit an obvious weak spot, which could have been protected if she put any thought into it. Blazing Star. Did that do anything? Miss. Yeah. Nothing. She's going into her phase 2, isn't it? Yep, phase 2. Oh, I think I've heard of this game. Yeah, I've heard of this game. I have it on my Xbox. If I'm correct, I don't know if I am. I'm checking. But is it the one where you throw knives and are able to pause time? Do I have the name of it? Sorry, I paused it. It just came to me. Is it this word? Is it that word I've just highlighted in Lunar Nights? Because that looks very familiar. The one where you throw knives and... That's what that looks like to me. I'm kind of got distracted. Blast. Final Master Spark. But even if you do damage, it's not going to be enough. The fact she had to, like, push herself past what she could do normally means that she is, averagely weaker than him in magic. That even if she does 1 damage, it's not doing anything. Unless she has some poison effect like Sansa does, which is not technically poison, it's karma, but you get the idea. And she's spamming. She absorbed it. Miss. What? 1 damage? Well, that means she is 1... That means her attack is 1 above his defense. 2. Okay, so 2 above his defense. That doesn't matter. No, he doesn't have to worry. He's stressed for no reason. 4 damage. But it's not the point, though. Because if you think about this logically... she's only dealing like 1 to 2 damage on average. Maybe 3. 4 is a lucky hit there. So, if anything, this is just like... It's not really gonna kill him anytime soon. Also, if anything, he could easily just go into his second form, Asriel could, and then she can't move or do anything. So, doesn't matter. Her shield's back up though. Got 4 damage. Still isn't going above 5. And no, I don't count the fact he did 1 and then 4 damage. So it's technically not above 5 amount of damage in 1 hit. I think sending her to that place would be a good idea. The enemies. She'll be alright. Well, yeah, in your universe, but she is technically fighting a god of another entirely different universe right now. Just one last thing. What if she will kill? We'll pick her up. I have no idea. I've not played much of the game I think this is about. So also she's going to get tired. And then she'll do less damage than she did before, which was 0. Okay, well, this is not good. So Asriel could just... Yep, Hypergona. Problem is... It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Can't move your body. How did I guess what this would be? Actually, I do know the pacifist run. I was guessing this just based on I underestimate the power of a mere human. To be fair though, for her to even do 1 damage to you, Asriel, she did have to power herself up past what she would normally do. So she isn't technically that powerful. I never thought a human can be capable of magic. But what about the wizards that made the barrier? They did magic. Well, technically, whatever was... Your power is incredible, but it's still no match for mine. Behold my true power. The last one you faced was just a fraction of it. You're going to pay for what you've done to me. Yeah. Hit 1, hit 2. Yeah. The only one that could save her right now is Frisk. I always love that. Because now she's scared. Like, you can't attack someone. And now you're scared that they have already increased their power so far above you. This is actually on Marisa here. If Marisa could open a portal, why couldn't she escape through a portal? Because now she's dead without Frisk's help. Yeah. Dora's attack is still alive. I mean, she's barely holding on. Who cares? Hold on. You really are something special, aren't you? Maybe that's just your magic. Yeah, it is. She probably has some other shield. Well, who cares? Your time will end here, in a world where nobody will remember you. Oh yeah. Actually, Frisk did survive the beam because of determination. Marisa doesn't have determination, at least in the Undertale version of it. And Frisk saved the day. What I will say, technically Asriel would have won without Frisk's help. So if this was a battle without Frisk, Asriel would have won. But, yeah, that's Asriel. I mean, technically you're not an idiot. An idiot would imply low IQ. That's what an idiot means, if you're just dumb. But You didn't really do anything you could say is dumb. What did we do? What did we do? Oh no. Oh. So I assume this means her attack and defense are in the 4 digits. So I'm sure there's a comment somewhere on Asriel's stats, but let's just say it's 8,500, just because that's a nice number. Then her stats would have to increase by like 4 to do any damage, meaning no, it has to be a 4-digit number. That's the only way you should do 1 damage. Yeah. Oh, so the Undertale rules do apply here. That was random. Yeah, you technically did increase your power to the point it was damaging him, which actually intrigued him to use more power. Because the problem is, her max power that she can pull off by herself is probably a lot less than Asriel's. So when Asriel felt like he had to increase his power, he did it far more than she could. Ever. So yeah, this was on her here. She could have just, like, you know, stalled time until she thought of a better idea. Also, the fact that Asriel wasn't using much power in his attacks, which is why she was able to destroy some of his attacks, means he wasn't really trying, meaning she could deflect it. But once he was trying, she couldn't do anything. And there's the portal. Very convenient that it was then. Also, the fact that, wait, why does the portal not show what's on the other side? It's such a bad thing. Oh wait, was Frisk dead, so she had to revive them? Oh! Frisk was knocked out, so the one in purple had to bring Frisk from being knocked out so Frisk could help. I believe I'm getting that right. Why does Frisk... Why does Frisk have to have such a derpy face? Like the eyes and then the... No... I mean, there's so much face real estate just not being used. Oh, yeah, that animation. I'll react to that next, because why not? Unless it's already on my... well, actually, I don't think it's bad. I have 79 other tabs that are just full of videos to react to. Keep in mind there are some playlists with hundreds of videos in, so it's actually probably a lot more than that. So, I know I will get to video suggestions, and I usually put them in front of the queue for videos, but I do want to, like, get rid of some of the videos to react to. So, now I like video suggestions, I will get to them, but I do have to, like, you know, use some of the videos I already have. That makes sense? I'll continue reacting to the end, though. Talking, and yeah. Alright, yeah. Alright, yeah. I mean, Frisk, can't you just give up your soul? I mean, Frisk isn't going to do anything. I mean, that would also help with the resets, because I assume when a monster takes a soul, the soul can no longer reset. So that would actually be a good idea. I'm going to say, can Marisa just create a soul? Oh, okay. I mean, technically they could get souls. No, I was gonna say, but if they're in the Undertale world and they follow Undertale logic, like when you eat food you heal, they should now have a human soul, right? Because what I'm guessing is if you're in their universe, you follow their rules. Which was how... Actually, no. Azur's magic would stop you from moving anyway. But, yeah, so... Because they had to follow the rules of the magic. Where their magic stopped them from moving. Which means they have to follow the rules of Undertale, meaning they should have a human soul. Way more powerful than an average one. It's a little bit of a waste. I would love to see Flowey. No, Flowey would be overkill though, because the only reason Ezra won was because of the soul power. It would be overkill, but it would be cool. And I think that's it. Yeah, it's it now. And with that, that's the end of this reaction of this video. Goodbye.